Absolutely marvellous. Now it's time for the X-rated scanner, which will allow us to detect the porn. So, we'll have to find the porn firstly, which is this way. It's through that door we just opened. It's a sort of progressive thing we've got going here. Now, not only does the X-ray scanner allow you to see through walls, it apparently allows you to extend your hand through them as well, judging by the fact that, as you'll see here, just turn it off. We can't operate that button until we've got the X-ray scanner on. It's really quite bizarre. So anyway, we'll run down here. We'll be foiled at the last minute by the training being completed, and now we would get the disguise. We're going to do this at relatively normal speed, which allows us to disguise ourselves apparently as a briefcase. And we are disguising ourselves so that we can get the cloaking device, the last part of the device training, off Grimshaw, who is going to have... This man has problems. I think he should see a doctor rather than work here.
Hiya. I'm here to pick up the equipment.
Because apparently everyone who picks up this equipment crawls through the vent in the back of the room. I don't want to pick up your equipment, I'm leaving. Right, okay, so we have picked up the cloaking device by fooling an incredible idiot. So, last things last, let's get to the cloaking device, which we don't really get to use much in the game at all, but never mind. And this whole thing is basically just so that we can piss off our boss at the end of the day. It's the American dream, walking up to your boss and annoying him. So, we go through the various areas we have unlocked. Now, apparently Daniel Carrington knows of these secret tunnels and has placed a security camera in them just in case anyone comes in here and tries to goose him. But we know of that, so let us turn on our cloaking device. There you go, there's his security camera. If you walk past it, it'll give you a comment that he sees you. As if this is apparently some normal part of the training. Now, he's put that there because he likes doing pelvic thrusts here when he thinks he's alone, but you're not alone.
Where did you spring from? I think we can safely say your training is now complete.
Wrong! My training is not complete until I have defeated my master! I'm going to defeat you. Damn. Yeah, that's basically the payoff of that, is you get to beat up Daniel a bit. Anyway, we've now finished the device lab training. Let us go downstairs and we will do the simulant training room, which we'll also do really fast because that's also fairly perfunctory stuff here. The first test basically just check if your analog stick works. Good God, it's that same woman.
Hi, what can I do for you? Hi.
You can go back upstairs where you were before.
Some last minute training, huh?
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so we will click on this and we will do looking around training. Looking around training is a simple matter of figuring out if your analog stick works. You have to look at these various things up on the floors and walls and ceilings, which will give us codes. Then we walk over here and find out if our B button works, which it does. Brilliant! Okay, so we've got to do movement 1 now. Movement 1 is just test if your strafe buttons work. Hooray! Which they do. So, after I have some brief B button issues, we will move along. There we go. We have 1. Marvellous. Now, the next one is a little bit less interesting. It is seeing if our crouch keys work. So, down here we go, down here, and press that. We have 1 again. Hooray! We're good at everything. Now, unarmed combat. So, basically, we just had to run around beating people up. Now, they just sort of run into the corners of the room. It's kind of silly. That guy is supposed to fight back, but he kind of doesn't. So, we've now finally got to one that's actually at least slightly difficult. So, I'm going to bring this back to normal speed for that. We've got to disarm this guy if we can, despite the fact he doesn't try to stop us. So, disarm him, beat him up, knock out this target. Stealth is the key. Now, this guy cheats. He is invincible for as long as he can see you, so you must sneak up behind him. Luckily, he makes that easy for us. So, bang. And the final guard cheats ridiculously. Not only does he have a gun that he can fire, not only do you fail this mission if he hits you even once, you can't disarm him. It's stupid. You know, I'd like to find a point where that actually happens in the game, but it doesn't. So anyway, this is another one we can speed through, because this is the last live training. These guys just follow you around and you beat them up by running in circles. It's really kind of stupid. So, now to get to the final test, which is interesting because we can cheat at it. So, we've got to beat all the armed enemies without being hit. Now, this is a ridiculously hard one if you try and do it the right way, but we're not going to try and do it the right way. What you do is you run at this guy, you take the hit, you fail the test, and you disarm him. And now, right at the end of the test, you then press the button to select your gun. That means that you will pull out the gun the second you start the test again. Hooray! We're now in unarmed combat. I'm probably going to piss away all my bullets by being useless. I think we're pretty much in agent mode here, so you don't really have to worry about these guys. They take about 1 hit each. There you go. Dead already. Good lord, what madness. So now we've got the reasonably difficult bit here, which we've got to take all these guys out. And normally you'd have to try and disarm these guys, which is suicide, because there's 3 of them here and they all fire at you at once. So instead we are going to use our knowledge of the cheaty way. It's not that you get anything for doing this anyway, so there's no real impetus to not do this. So we've now killed all the guys except the last one. So we've got to run out here, grab some ammo, reload our gun and blast him. We have succeeded at armed-unarmed combat training. Marvellous. And there's only one last thing to do, and then this video will be over. Hooray! So I'm just going to quickly pause this narration again. Right, and we're back. We're just going to study... Does the Carrington Institute only hire stroke victims or something? There's something weird going on here. And she's a midget, too. Strange midget people. Anyway, we'll leave this place now, avoiding all those spooky questions. We'll go and bugger Foster around instead in the firing range. So here we go. You can see we've got all the GoldenEye weapons here, which you get by getting all the golds on the firing range.
Alone, would you?
No, shut up. Right, and here, this is the last laptop that really does anything. This brings up the pause menu descriptions of the various weapons, which I'm posting in the thread, so it doesn't matter. We've got an RCP-90 there, which is taunting us, so let's walk in here and do some firing range things. Now, if anyone wants to actually see me do these, then I'm fine with that, because I've done all of them anyway, but I'm just going to do the 2 bronzes for now. Now, we start off with the only 2 unlocked, the Falcon 2 with nothing and the CMP-150, which is kind of odd since you don't use the Falcon 2 with nothing in the first mission, but never mind. It's actually pretty hard to even get hold of one in the first mission. You have to disarm a guard and hope he pulls one out. Anyway, let's do the CMP-150 one while we're here. Here we go. Let's yank that out. And to do things with it, we'll set it once again to follow lock-on mode. Now, for as long as you're playing the game, it remembers which alt fires you have activated, but when you turn it off, it forgets them all, so you have to do them all again. So there we go. Now we're done with those 2 training things. We can't really do anything else here unless we're trying to do the silvers or golds. The Falcon 2 silver and gold are easy, but I'm not going to waste the time doing those now. Like, I mean, another bonus video, and Foster was adjusting himself again. If only we had something we could put there, we could attack him for that. How about Foster? Foster, we're going to try and... No, that's not going to work. That's ridiculous. I should never have thought of it. How about that hover crate? That has prospect. Yes, the hover crate wedges the door open. What can we do now then? Well, because we're playing my completed game. See here, yep, I do have all golds in the firing range. We'll yank out the combat knife. We'll put it on bronze. The combat knife allows us to throw combat knives. Yes, it's now 1 weapon instead of 2 like it was in GoldenEye, and that allows us to throw combat knives at Foster. Take this, you genitally challenged man, for the horrors you have visited on us.
Sure, I don't need to tell you what to shoot at.
No, I'll just work it out by myself. Don't worry. You can also throw them at the hover crate if you want, and then blow it up and use them in other places of the Institute. But there's something else that you might not be as familiar with here, which is this. We go in here and we select the Slayer. The Slayer is basically this game's copy of the Nikita rocket launcher from Metal Gear Solid, only it's fully 3D. So, what happens then? Well, we fire it and we use it in the fly-by-wire missile mode. And because we open this door, we can now fly it out here, and now childish people will fly it up to, say, Daniel Carrington's office and blow up his door, but that's foolish, so instead we're going to fly it out here. Why are we flying it out here, Evil Tim, you say? Well, because we can find a secrety thing out here, as I mentioned way back in the video, if you remember, which you probably do. So, what's out here then? There it is. Yes, this is this level's cheese. You can just about see it normally, but here we have a clear view of it and we can blow it to pieces for justice and good. Now, one last thing to demonstrate here is that Joanna is invulnerable on the firing range, even if you manage to get down to 0 health through some ludicrous series of coincidences.
Just leave me alone, would you?
No. You will still not die. So anyway, that has been the Carrington Institute. Goodbye.